Larry Chen. I've been shooting car culture all over the world for the past 18 years. From the best builds to the fastest races, I've seen it all. In this series, I'm highlighting the gearheads that inspire me in our generation. In today's episode, I'm hanging out in Japan with my good friend Dino Dalla Carbonari and Akira Nakai from RWB. I've known Dino for many years, and we've spent so much time following all things automotive culture all around the world. Dino was and still is one of the first journalists to capture trend-setting automotive movements in Japan for the Western audience to see. I first met Nakai-san well over 10 years ago when he invited me and Dino to compete in a 12-hour endurance race with RWB Porsches. Nakai has always been the outlaw in the Porsche community. He's created these wild modified 930s, turbos, all the way to 997s and everything in between. Interestingly though, with the publicity he has today, Nakai-san is still very much the same person he was before the internet turned RWB into the giant it is. Because of that, Dino and I wanted to circle back and learn a bit more about what makes Nakai the way he is. And of course, I wanted to drive his wide-body 997.
Dude, I can reuse the f***ing vanes here that broke off on mine.
Tell him, dude. Tell him. Tell him.
Why is there
We're finding treasure here. One man's trash is another man's Porsche deck lid. Let's start this off right. What do we get to drink? What should I get?
Yeah, you should get coffee.
Black coffee?
Black coffee.
Hold on. Okay. Oh, boom. This is tradition here, right? So when you come to RWB, you have to go to the RWB vending machine to get yourself a drink. You know what this weather reminds me of?
What's that?
When we were here all those years ago.
That's 10 years ago, man. A decade ago.
That was kind of a life-changing moment for me to come to Japan, to race in an actual 12-hour endurance race with Nakai-san, with you, with all of these random people from all over the world.
But if you recall, we not only raced in the 12-hour endurance race, we actually covered it. So
yeah.
we were running out, grabbing our cameras.
Yes, that was the first time that I shot an event and I drove the same event.
Yeah.
So if I recall correctly, I did 4 stints. My longest stint was 45 minutes going from sunset to night.
And you were driving 964, right?
I was driving 964, yeah. And you were driving a pink 993.
That's right, yeah. I've done it a few times since, but the magic of that first time, I don't think will ever be matched.
Yeah.
Because it was there's so much impact. There's so many things happening at the same time.
People like Nakai-san hasn't really been able to influence the rest of the world before the internet, right? Before social media.
That's very true. I mean, I remember seeing, RWB Porsches with these stacked wings in, I forget the name of the magazines, but, when I was in Japan here, starting up, going through magazines and seeing what events were out there, and kind of wondering, oh my God, what are these Porsches I'm seeing? And eventually one day I was at Scuba shooting some other thing, and I came across Nakai-san with, Stella Artois, just having fun, and it kind of started from there. And then, Mike Garrett also covered a lot of events that Nakai was competing in, and through Speed Hunters, we kind of brought that kind of, people made a connection. This happens in Japan with Porsches, and he's never stopped. So out of all the shops that I shot throughout the years, I think Nakai-san is the only guy that has never changed. He's never gone off on a tangent or changed the way he does things. He just does it because he likes it, and he just does it to the people that appreciate these things, because there's a lot of people that don't like it. And this, what we will be here to see is the only shift, him going to the water-cooled side of things. And we have 3 great examples back here.
He's kind of evolving his business, evolving what he modifies to cater maybe to a different crowd.
I think what Nakai-san has achieved is that he's fused Japan and, import cars, in this case Porsches, and created his own style off of what, motorsport teams are doing with Porsches back in the day with the over fenders.
So let's talk about these cars that we have out here. This location is so iconic, and honestly, one of my most favorite and most famous photos that I've shot was in 2012 when we came for the Twin Ring Motegi 12-hour race. I was right over there across the street with a 35mm lens, and I think it was the first generation 1DX camera. And I just snapped this photo. It just happened to be, for whatever reason, the perfect weather. The cars were laid out perfectly. I think Nakai-san was still asleep, and we're just kind of waiting for him to open up this wonderful place with all this amazing texture and color. And well, today we're gonna take some photos of his newest creation, the 997. This thing is just so beautiful. I love the wheels on it. I think we should catch up with Nakai-san a little bit to see what he's been up to since he hasn't been traveling since the shutdown. I'm kind of curious to see what he's been working on, what his quarantine project has been.
Hi, konnichiwa. Hi, how are you? Yeah.
Nakai-san, it's been over 10 years since I've been here. Can you believe that?
Okay, yes.
The thing is, a lot has changed, but so many things are the same. It's just so cool to see that you're still building these cars with your hands.
Yeah.
Do you miss traveling?
Oh yeah. I think maybe we miss traveling.
We both miss traveling,
right?
yeah. This is my first time to Japan since the shutdown, and I miss shooting in Japan so much. I love shooting here. I love telling the stories here. But I know you love traveling the world, building cars. There must be so many that are waiting for you, huh?
Right, of course. Yeah. I have a customer now over 100 something.
100 cars waiting to be built?
Yeah. I always get into building in the overseas, maybe a 50 cars in year.
1 year, 50 cars.
Right. I stayed 2 years already here,
It's
and
almost
almost 100.
Yeah, it's almost like one car a week, huh?
Oh yeah.
So since you've been here for almost 2 years, what have you been working on?
Now, and I'm busy to work for Japanese customer. I do every month make 3 cars made up the car, Yeah, getting too busy now. Also, sometimes shipping the parts for outside for everyone, and then so make new project for 997. I do almost 3 times busy, field.
But even though you're shipping all these parts out and other people are building the cars, it's not the same. They want you there to put it together, right?
Yeah.
And they want you to give the car a name because that is pretty much the tradition. And also that's something that makes it a real RWB car, right? So like you're working on water-cooled cars now.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about this.
This is mine car.
This is your personal car.
Yeah.
And this is what you're using to develop this kit.
So I need to make something for duct for a specialty for turbo, right? Something different to another car. Yeah. So I bought.
It's so wide.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy. So how much time do you think you have left to develop something like this?
I guess maybe take half a year or more.
And then the front is already done. Is this like your other 997 kit outside?
Almost same for fender, yeah. But I need to make something change for face, because turbo, right?
Yeah. There's so many kits. All of these are getting ready to ship out, or
what's I need to pack up.
And this is how the kit shows up, huh? It's all in
here. This is going to USA, yes.
But the good thing is, even though you haven't been able to travel, there's so many Japanese customers here that want you to work on their car.
Because Japanese customer know me. I stay in Japan, so they bring it here in the car. Normally not here. Always outside work. Maybe 90% outside. But this time 100% here.
Yeah.
You understand?
In Japan.
So customer bring the car.
Yeah. Did you ever think that you would change the car culture world? Did you ever think your brand would be so big worldwide? Was that your dream?
I don't think it's a dream, but just natural, you know. I like this style, the Porsche, you understand? So some people live in the outside, you know. Not many people, but same mind.
Porsches, you know, there's just so many ways to modify them, and it's just so popular as a driver's car. But I guess what I'm trying to say is you've changed it.
Yeah.
You know, because now you have these cars, maybe at one point they were just ordinary cars, pedestrian cars, but when you cut it up and when you put your fenders on and when you put the wing, everything, it becomes something greater. You know, it becomes special. Did you ever think you could change the Porsche world like that?
Just keep going, you know, for my style, you understand?
Yeah. Because you just like working hard.
Oh yeah, but I don't mind. Because all the car for me, and that feel like for me, you understand?
I see. You do it for yourself.
Yes. Actually, the customer's car, but always I do when I working, when I building, then feel like, you know, like my car and just make it.
Right. You love the cars.
Yeah.
What really surprised me when I first came here was when I actually watched you do the cut, when I watched you modify it, and when I watched you drill the holes, and also when I watched you make this line just with your hands.
Oh yeah.
It is just so crazy to me that you just can just do it super quick. It's just like second nature.
Because I have experience with that, you know.
How many cars have you cut, you think?
Oh, no, never count, you know, but 100, 200, 300, 400 something. 400 something, like 500. I don't know, not sure. Never
That's
count.
a pretty big range.
Yeah.
It's just so many.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your
No
time.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll enjoy taking your car out. Every time I get to drive a RWB, it's very special, you know? It just feels special. I can't wait to drive that one.
Okay.
If any of you guys want a real RWB that's named, that is built by Nakai-san, just wait. Because Japan will open soon and then he will be traveling all over the world.
Yes. Please wait for building. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hope to see you soon. Yeah.
Dino, what are you watching on TV?
Potatoes. Potatoes and cabbage.
No. I see.
I gotta figure out how to make my stew tonight.
This is so crazy. I don't know how many times I've driven RWB cars, but I'm excited to drive this one because this is Nakai's personal 997 development car. This thing has some serious girth. It's
girth.
pretty cool.
Girthage.
It's just cool to me how it's evolved, you know?
So we have Nakai-san in front of us with a vintage Mercedes.
Yeah.
Of all cars.
Hold on, let's roll down the window just a little bit for sound. Oh, it's very, very
Rough.
very rough. Very nice.
Rough world on a 997.
Oh, geez. You know, you don't really get the sense of how wide this is until you look
out, right?
out, and then you're like,
Like all I see is fenders. Like I don't see the road.
It's interesting because before we got in here, I was just talking to Nakai and I was asking him what he feels like or how he feels about everybody coming and wanting to meet him, wanting to take pictures with him, and if it's weird. And of course his response is he's just happy that somebody will travel all this way just to come.
Just to get a picture with him.
Yeah, just to get a picture with him, just to meet him. And I kind of feel like he's just super humble to the fact that he's changed car culture for the better.
I don't think he knows just how much he's done, but he definitely is aware that, you know, he's bringing a very interesting group of people together, and that's across all the different countries that he's kind of gone to build cars in, right? Low
It
and
definitely feels
wide.
special that I'm driving
Like we're
something
going through
special.
the narrowest countryside roads right now.
It feels like a 1-lane road, but it's not. It's a 2-lane road. Oh my God, here
my
comes
God.
another car.
Watch out for the ditch.
I know. Oh my God. This is not initial D. There's the gutter is like fall down gutter. Either that or I drive into a rice paddy by accident. Jeez.
We'll be sleeping with the frogs tonight.
You know, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize Nakai-san is quite the wheelman.
Oh my God. I remember like one day when we came to shoot the IROC kit that he did, he was drifting it on this road. Like every corner was just, we were like, oh my God, what's going on? What's he doing?
So when we came to do the race, he didn't drive the whole time until like the last lap.
That's right.
Right? That's like his thing is, you know, he invited everyone to enjoy his cars. He invited everyone to kind of have a real rough time, you know, a rough world time.
A rough world time.
And, but, you know, he wanted to cap it off. Oh my God. This is scary.
It's painful. And there should be a little open up area in the middle. And
Everything. There's a lot of noise at the shop, right?
your attention is always being pulled. Like,
There's
other
so
cool
many
here
cars,
and
there's
there.
parts, there's memorabilia, there's textures, there's Nakai just cutting fenders and this, that, and the other. But when you park this in a park alone, just surrounded by nature, and you look at it up close, you look at it far away, you look at the lines of it, it's just...
Yeah, it's the perfect way to appreciate it and to understand it, because, you know, you kind of walk around it and you see how, because, you know, the radius of the over fenders is different from the rest of the car, and the way that they're bolted on, that's where the key is, right? And I shot Nakai-san shaping the kit for maybe 2 years, and he was always changing it.
What is he using? Is he using clay? What is he doing to shape it?
Putty and sandpaper and shaping and feeling it. There's a lot of dust.
Right, I bet. But on top of that, my God, talk about wheel choice. Like the fact that he was able to commission work to make these custom wheels. They look so good, and they're RWB branded too. It's so wide. It's 305 and it's so stretched.
Yeah. You know, it's a difficult car because being water-cooled, there's actually no need for this, right? Like, it doesn't really need as much as what the air-cooled cars had, but I mean, look at this thing with that wing.
This wing really sets off the kit.
It sets off the whole kit.
It's one thing for this to be stock and then it just kind of goes back down, just like or even if it's just a smaller ducktail. But this is like a air-cooled turbo inspired.
Yeah, there's a bit of everything built into it. And he's painted the, I guess, the louvered grilled part in black, in matte black.
I like that it's
Contrast.
reversed, because normally, you know, this is rubber and it's black, and then
all
this
around
is
here.
body colored.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just look how this flows, the rear bumper. It has to continue this shape all the way out here.
It's well integrated, I mean, and that's not an easy job, because I saw him work through it, and he was never happy with it for a long time, and then it was like refining this transition that kind of sealed the deal for him.
On the surface, it's just a body kit that's put on a Porsche, but it's just so much deeper than that. So much thought and so much design and so much effort goes into it. I mean, even to the point where there's a little piece for the filler.
Filling up the fuel filler, yeah.
That way it just doesn't break up this shape of the over fender here.
But you know, I think he put even more time into this kit because it represents the evolution of the brand. So he really needed to nail this first, I guess, version of it. You know, he said that, you know, he's not really happy with how the bumper sits at the moment, but before he designs his own bumper, he wants to make it smooth so people have that choice. So it's just getting things right. And yeah, it's cool to see that he's not done with it yet.
Yeah, it's still like a process, especially now him working on the turbo car. I mean, this is just a regular Carrera that comes narrow-bodied. The turbo already has some serious hips.
It's wider, but it also has the side intakes. So that's something he has to kind of think about. How is he going to integrate it into the rear fender? Is he going to emphasize it? Is he going to make it smaller, bigger?
It's also refreshing driving this because some of the older cars, you know, they have old car problems, especially air-cooled Porsches. It kind of gave me anxiety driving those things on the street here. This, not so much. You know, it has nice power steering. The clutch is super easy to drive.
Yeah, you said it's super easy to drive, super smooth.
Yeah,
like, no issues.
This is just a normal street car, but it's just so wide. Even though it's silver, it just stands out so much. It doesn't need to be a crazy loud color for it to stand out. It's just the shape.
Would you say it's a grown-up version of what he's done so far? I mean, for the time being, you could actually.
I would say it's the opposite.
Really?
I feel like it's the younger, because if you have the air-cooled Porsche, there's more of a chance that you've had it for longer. You want something that's a little more expensive. Let's be honest, this is a lot cheaper than pretty much every air-cooled Porsche. I feel like this is more for the younger crowd. You know, a younger audience, people that are just kind of getting into Porsches. Yeah.
They can still afford it because, yeah, like you're saying, those cars are prohibitively expensive these days. So, rough world.
It is rough world.
No GDI.
Thank you guys for watching my new Hagerty show. I really wanted to feature automotive trendsetters in our generation. Without Pennzoil, this series wouldn't be possible. They are enthusiasts like us, they believe in car culture, and they want to keep it alive. Pennzoil supports a lot of racing, drifting, and hill climb, and everything in between. They also support a lot of our friends. On top of that, we run Pennzoil in all of our project cars. I hope you like this content because we have a lot coming your way.